what's up? It's Joe ready from Randy's Rides. We're back here at Volkswagen Brandon, and guess what? I have Volkswagen's smallest crossover SUV, but they say bring some big surprises. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this vehicle right here. This is the updated refresh 2025 Volkswagen Taos. This particular one is in SE trim. But before we get into the small size Volkswagen, let's talk about what's going on here. So when it comes to vehicles, Volkswagen has moved away from a lot of their sedans and other offerings. They really, though, have doubled down on SUVs. The Taos is, believe it or not, a subcompact crossover SUV. It's probably one of the largest, though, physically largest subcompacts in that class. If you want to go bigger than a Taos and you want a Volkswagen, you would go Tiguan. And then, of course, the biggest out of the bunch is the Volkswagen Atlas. But what I want to find out is, did Volkswagen make the right changes to the Taos? And is it one of those like most affordable values if you're looking for a smaller size crossover SUV? Let's go ahead, let's find out and dive in to this 2025 SE trim of the Taos. Right off the bat, the color. It's called Bright Moss Green, and it really has that kind of sour apple Jolly Rancher appearance to it. So much so that I actually had Steven go get me some sour apple Jolly Ranchers to munch on. Now up front, at the front of the business, you see that updated refresh look. Love the way they did the LED daytime running lamps, your turn signals, and up top along the edge here, not only by the headlight itself, but also on the top corner, LED headlights. And then working your way down, you have that bright moss green. It's a metallic, really sparkles. And then you have those functional large corner air curtains. Now there is some gloss black. It's not too over the top, so I'm okay with it. But I love the way they folded that body color. And then as you work your way down, you have some flat gray and some flat black. Now, as we come across that updated front end, we got the Volkswagen badge, goes back to the 1930s. You do have what looks like functional venting, but it's not. So I am gonna zonk that. Really thin though, on the way that they do the body lines up top. And then working our way down, here's all your functionality. So you have your mail slot in the middle with those vertical portions to it. A little bit of flat black with the flat gray, and then you have the larger opening on the bottom portion. I do like the way they have the flat gray silver finish all the way around the perimeter. And like I said, with this new color, it really brings a nice fun attitude to this vehicle. Now, as we rise up, it's like they took the hood off of an Atlas and they shrunk it in the dryer. And I mean that in a very good way. You have those clean, crisp body lines that you find on German vehicles. Love the way it has a nice fold, comes all the way across the front edge of it. And then as we come around the bed, what are we working with wheel and tire setup on this particular SE trim? So what you're gonna find are these 18-inch wheels, gloss black painted. Tires are gonna be 215 on the width, 50 series sidewall. You can get different wheels. They do have different wheel choices for the Taos, but I think that the black with the green gives it a nice sporty attitude. One of the things that normally I like to see painted, I'm okay with the flat black around the fender openings. Obviously, that helps with keeping that value price present, and it's not too high on the cladding like you find on a Subaru or a Mazda. But let me know what you think about those 18-inch wheels. Coming down the side, you have the bright moss green on your mirror caps. Up top, you'll see raised roof rails that are a nice aluminum finish. And then you do have just a little bit of bright, shiny metalwork along the bottom of the window frame openings. The green on the door handles, and then flat black along the lower sill, which is good because that's gonna take a better beating over time. Working our way towards the rear, decent sized quarter window. Like I said, this is a subcompact. It's not a compact crossover. Spinning around back, they really did have a nice uniform style to the bigger brother Atlas. So the way they styled this with the long roof spoiler, the way they did the LED taillights, looks like the bigger Atlas. I am gonna have to zonk that wiper. It would be nice if that was tucked underneath, especially with all the room that you have because of how long it is pulled back off the roof line. Digging the way they're just putting the name right in the center here. You got your SE badge. The one thing I'm gonna have to double zonk is the fake exhaust. You got one on each side, plus we have this fake venting in the center here. I don't know why they do that. I'd rather just be all flat black plastic, no opening. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. And then the way they sculpted the lower bumper area almost gives it that off-road skid plate kind of look. They call it a skid plate garnish. It's like you put a little garnish on the steak that you cook for dinner. But let me know what you think about the color and the look of this updated Taos. Let's pop the hood and talk about horsepower. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, not gonna zonk it at this price point. Underneath the hood, there isn't a large engine cover. You're gonna see the wires and the hoses and all that, but what are we looking at? It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline four. It pumps out 174 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. The best news is no DCT and no CVT. It's an 8-speed automatic, traditional torque converter automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds, top speed 125 miles an hour, MPGs 28 in the city, 36 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs right around 3,300 pounds. So for this class of vehicle, subcompact, it really falls perfectly in alignment with a lot of the performance and horsepower numbers of the competition. I think the one that really stands out in my mind is the Mazda CX-30 Turbo, which has that extra oomph from that displacement, 2.5 liters of inline four. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this four banger and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, come on into my green sour apple Jolly Rancher, known as a 2025 Volkswagen Taos SE. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I do need to find something for my son or my daughter to drive while they're in college. They said they're going to not go to college. They're actually going to drop out of life if I don't buy them a crossover SUV or some vehicle. I don't want to spend $100,000 on a vehicle because they want me to get them an AMG E63S or something like that. I'm thinking more this is the route. How much is it? Very good question. And don't let your kids railroad you like that. I don't care how smart they are and how much you love them. MSRP for this one, $31,000. Not too much of a chunk of money, but let's see if Volkswagen brings the most for that hard-earned money to the door panels. I love the way they did the interior. You're gonna have the soft touch up top, black, some nice silver around the switchgear for the unlock and lock controls, and then the two-tone. That's actually a Alcantara style material with the white contrast stitching, nice soft armrest with some more contrast stitching, no gloss black around the switchgear, and then you have a large door pocket. You could get yourself a Checkers Big Buford, a large fry, and a vanilla milkshake. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, I do have to zonk the gloss black. I don't know why they had to go gloss black, especially I feel like the glare is going to be crazy. But I do love this. This trim really elevates the overall feel in this vehicle. Now, as you slide in, you're going to get an 8-inch infotainment system. I like the real knobs for the audio controls, and then everything else is going to be touchscreen. You could go into your vehicle status, check everything out, 1, 2, 3. We can come back to our car. There's the car, there's the menu setup, and those nice, easy swipe features. So they got you covered there. You could even bring up your climate control and do it in the screen if you want. Going into reverse, not the clearest resolution. The thing is that remember, there was once upon a time we didn't have backup cameras in cars. So what did we do? Not back up? And then you're right back to where we started. Working our way down, you have your AC controls, dual climate, which is really nice. Just got to tap it, a tap-a-roo on the controls. Your blower fan, 3 stages of heated seats. Down below, you do have wireless charging, so your kids can't say their phone died and that's why they didn't call you. 2 USB-Cs, a 12-volt. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic. You got a nice start-stop button, silver. You see this trim here? This is what they should have put on the dash. It's not gloss black. It's much nicer. 2 cup holders, older style key fob, but that's okay. It does everything, including remote start. Soft touch on the armrest for the center console, the stitching. Open it up. You could put, there's actually a little nook in there. It's not a large nook, but it's a good sized nook. You could put your collection of upper deck baseball cards that you promised to give your kids because you put it in the will, but they don't want to wait until you're dead. They want the cards now. You could put the cards in there for them as a nice little surprise. I miss baseball card collecting days. It seems like the value on baseball cards has just gone right down the toilet. Seats, soft touch. I love the two-tone, the Alcantara style material. A little bit of different material. You do have manual controls for the passenger, but the good news is I got electric assist over here, and you do have a lighter headliner, but I think it works well with the lighter accents in here. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you where your kid's going to be sitting as they're late for class because they slept in from getting drunk the night before in this Taos. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I like the aluminum sill plate with the Taos name. Nice little sprinkling of an extra touch. Seats are superb. I'm 6 feet tall. Like I said, even though they classify this as a subcompact, there's a lot of big room in here. And then don't forget, you got the power seat controls for the driver's side, which is great. Steering wheel. Volkswagen makes a nice quality wheel. The leather, look at the stitching. Nice horn button flat black on all the switch gear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have that large digital display in the center, which you could actually scroll through a cornucopia of different information and how you want it displayed. Other than that, everything is well laid out in here. Let's get into the back seat and see if there's enough room for all the books and all of those things that your kid requested that you buy them to go to college. Let's see if we can fit it back there. All right, guys, back seat time. And I do like the way they went dark on the backs of the seats. So if anybody is sitting back here, maybe your kid takes some friends out on a Saturday night to go clubbing and then one of them pukes in the back seat, it'll be easy for your kid to clean it up. Hopefully they clean it up and they don't have you clean it up when they come home to visit for the weekend. But you got large pockets. You can put pencils, protractors, pens. Does anybody even write anymore in college? Probably everything's on a freaking laptop or an iPad. I'm sure there's an app for it. Little command center, the AC vents. You got a place for some Jolly Ranchers. Green, of course. USB-C, just one. But the room in here is great. It is hard plastic up top in the back seat, but that's how they cut costs. Pull this down. Nicely padded armrest with 2 cup holders. And I do like the way they did the seats. They look very sporty. But why don't we go ahead, let's get that cargo area and see if all the money that they're going to need to get that diploma can fit back there in this Taos. All right, guys, cargo area time. This is another space where big things do come in small packages. You can see the amount of cargo space back here. It is absolutely stupendous. So what are we looking at? 28 cubic feet of space. If you fold down the rear seat, it's going to go up to 66 cubic feet of space. Love the amount of room that we have. Underneath, you do get a spare. Don't see that very often nowadays, but it really just shows that this could be that perfect daily driver, especially if you're putting some large things in your vehicle. No electric assist, I'm okay with that. You don't really need to use a lot of muscle. The beach is that way, by the way, but it's now that time. Why don't we hop in? Let's drive to the beach and see how this Volkswagen Taos does about its business. All right, guys, we're leaving Volkswagen Brandon. We're in this 2025 Tiguan SE trim. Right away, I love the fact that they got rid of the dual clutch transmission in here. It's great for performance applications, not so great for vehicles like this. and you're just gonna love the way the 8-speed shifts so much nicer in this vehicle. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna come to a stop and we're gonna go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So there's a bit of boost lag, but once she is up and running, she's pretty peppy. She actually feels peppier than what the numbers say. But like I said, there is, and you probably saw it, a hesitation in the acceleration due to the boost lag. Driving the vehicle though, very easy. This would be perfect for those tight college parking lots, parking garages, apartment complexes, downtown city streets. The ride quality is good. I like the way that it has some good sound deadening material to it for a subcompact. Visibility is great. It has all the safety features that you could think of. And in this color, nobody's gonna miss you, that's for sure. Let's see how she drives on the highway. On throttle, here we go. Smooth shift from the 8-speed automatic, but it's the great visibility that I love about this Taos, even for being a smaller size crossover SUV. Not a lot of wind noise, a little bit of road noise, but not a lot of wind noise, which is nice. But the handling is predictable. Short reach to that 8-inch infotainment system. And just very easy to drive. Like I said, if you're gonna go subcompact, this is one of the larger ones, which helps separate it from the rest of the pack. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of this Taos. We're gonna get back, we're here, Volkswagen Brandon, we're gonna wrap it up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, another great day in so many ways here at Volkswagen Brandon. Definitely gotta thank Paul and the rest of the team getting us this bright green Volkswagen Taos SE. Let me know what you think. Is it one of the most affordable of those subcompact crossover SUVs? And does it bring the best value? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta get out to Stephen Flood. He's out here. He's loving the ladies as they walk by to get his autograph. A lot of people, Stephen's fan base is so big, not only from filming, but also from his rock and roll music days. And of course, all the race car driving he's done. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.